Hi, my name is Kiran Kumar. The subject name is Giant Stock Companies, and the subject code is 18CCP204C. In this subject, I am going to explain the procedure for reallotment of shares. The procedure for reallotment of shares. In today's session, the topics which I am going to explain is the procedure for reallotment of shares, right share and bonus shares, issue of shares at premium, issue of shares at discount, issue of shares at discount. Almost all the information related to shares and the issue of shares at premium and at discount will be covered in this session. The procedure for reallotment. In the last session, I have clearly explained the procedure for allotment of shares, the procedure for allotment of shares, and what is the procedure for forfeitures of shares, procedure for allotment of shares and procedure for forfeitures of shares. And in this session you will be able to know the procedure for reallotment. Here the last class there is allotment and here reallotment. I will explain once again the procedure for allotment and the procedure for forfeiture. Then we will be clearly understood about the procedure for reallotment of shares, and after that what is a right share and bonus shares, right share and bonus shares, and then issue of shares at premium and issue of shares at discount, issue of shares at premium and issue of shares at discount, issue of shares at premium and issue of shares at discount. The last class a little bit recap about the last class, that is procedure for allotment of shares and procedure for forfeiture of shares. Here the procedure for allotment of shares. Whenever the companies issue a prospectus, whenever the companies issue a prospectus, whenever the companies issue a prospectus, A prospectus is nothing but an invitation to the general public. A prospectus is nothing but an invitation to the general public, and it is an offer to the public to invest shares or debentures in the joint stock company. It contains the total information about a joint stock company. It contains the details which are available in the memorandum of association and the details which are available in the articles of association. So about this memorandum of association and articles of association, I have explained in the last video, and in continuation of the videos earlier, I have explained it very clearly. Very clearly. It contains some clauses and articles of association is the rules and procedures. So here the prospectus contains the total information, that is the legal procedures about the directors, that is the particulars of directors, and the types of shares issued, and the rights of shareholders, the types of shares issued and the rights of shareholders, and it contains all other information about a joint stock company, that is the formation of a joint stock company, the registered address, and everything is available in the prospectus. That prospectus is issued to the public, and it is an offer or it is an invitation to the public. It is an offer or it is an invitation to the public about an formation of a joint stock company. The people knows only by seeing the prospectus. There is a establishment of joint stock company. There is an formation of a joint stock company is taking place. So in the prospectus, each and every information is available, and it is issued to the general public to purchase shares or debentures depending upon their interest. If they willing or if they wish to buy a share or a debenture or debenture, there are different kinds of shares that we have seen in the last video sessions: equity shares, deferred shares, and preference shares. That information is clearly mentioned in the prospectus. And if debentures any, and there are some kinds of debentures are also there, that information is also clearly mentioned in the prospectus. Along with these details, the types of shares, the types of rights of shareholders, particulars of directors, remuneration and qualification, registered office address, and each and everything will be available in the prospectus. So whenever the prospectus is issued to the general public, the people or the investors who are interested, who are intending to buy a share or a debenture, they can apply by filling a prescribed pro forma which is available in the prospectus. The investor can purchase any number of shares depending upon his interest and his investment. So the people apply, the people apply, the people apply by filling a prescribed pro forma that they want to invest the amount in a into that giant stock company, to that giant stock company. Here the procedure for allotment of shares is the procedure. After the last date of this receiving of the application, after the last date of receiving the applications from the public, after the last date of receiving the applications from the public, the secretary or the board of directors shall conduct a meeting about the allotment of shares. The company secretary will prepare a list of the shareholders who have applied, who have applied, and the allotment sheet, and the allotment sheet. The company secretary prepare a list of shareholders who have applied to purchase the shares, and allotment sheet, and allotment sheet, and submitted to the board of directors, and submitted to the board of directors. The board of directors passes a special resolution in the meeting. The board of directors passes a special resolution in the meeting that the shares have been allotted to that shareholders, and the same information is communicated to the shareholders whose shares have been allotted. The information, written information, will be sent to the shareholders. The written information will be given to the shareholders about their allotment of shares. The persons who's applied, the persons who have applied for to purchase the shares, and some reasons they have not allotted the shares, a letter of regret is written to that shareholders that that their shares have not been allotted, and all the shareholders whose shares have been allotted sent a letter or informing in a written communication that pay the remaining installments, that pay the remaining installments on the specified dates, on the specified dates, and the details, and the details of those shareholders whose shares have been allotted, whose shares have been allotted, are entered in a special register called register of shareholders. Register of shareholders. From that point onwards, there is a legal relationship as established in between shareholders and the company. There is an establishment of legal relationship between shareholders and company done as done. So this is a brief about procedure for allotment of shares. Procedure for allotment of shares and procedure for forfeiture of shares. Procedure for forfeiture of shares. What is this forfeiture? The forfeiture is nothing but disappearance. Disappearance. The people whose shares have been allotted in the process of allotment of shares have not paid their remaining installments on the specified dates. An intimation, an intimation, maybe an intimation will be sent to the shareholders before 14 days in advance that the amount is to be paid in the stipulated time. The secretary will intimate the shareholders to pay the remaining installments on the specified date within the 14 days of the communication or letter received. If any shareholders does not pay the remaining installment amount within these 4 days, their shares have been transferred to the forfeiture shares account. Their shares have been transferred to the forfeiture of shares account. So here forfeiture of shares means the disappearance of their details in the register of shareholders. It is a discontinuation or removing of their names from the registers. From the register. Discontinuation or removing their names from the register. The relationship is expired. The relationship may be discontinued. The relationship is discontinued and their names are removed from the register, shareholders register, and the amount which they were paid already becomes company's property. Becomes company property. The amounts which they were paid already becomes company property, and these amounts have been transferred to the forfeiture of shares account. Forfeiture of shares account. So this is about a brief explanation of the last video, which needs to be continuation to understand this video session, that is procedure for reallotment of shares. Procedure for reallotment of shares and right share, bonus share, issue of shares at premium, issue of shares at discount. And today's topic is procedure for reallotment of shares. Here the forfeited, we got an idea about the forfeited shares. The shareholders who does not pay the installment amount on the specified date, those shares are forfeited. There is no more relationship with the shareholders to the company. There is no more relationship. Their relationship has expired. There is no shareholder or member the registrar allotted to the registrar, shares allotted to the are written in the shareholders register. So here reallotment. The people who does not pay or who have not paid the remaining amount or the amount due from them within the stipulated period of 14 days, those shares are transferred to the forfeiture forfeiture of shares account, and the amount paid already will be the company's will become the company's property. Here the reallotment is the shares which have forfeited or surrendered. The shares forfeited or surrendered becomes the company property, becomes the property of the company. It is left to the discretion of the board of directors whether to reissue them or not. It is left to the discretion of the board of directors whether to reissue them or not. Here the point we have to remember and we have to note down is the shares forfeited, the shares forfeited or surrendered, the surrendered become the property of the company, become the property of the company. Again those shares, the forfeited shares becomes company property, and it is left to the discretion, it is left to the discretion of the board of directors whether to reissue them or not. The it is the it is the discretion of the board of directors. The board of directors will decide about the forfeited shares, whether the shares are need to be reissued or not, whether the shares are to be need to be reissued or not. If no reissue is made, if no reissue is made, if no reallotment is made, here reissue means, here we have to concentrate the point reissue. Here reissue means reallocating whatever the shares forfeited, that capital is reduced in the total amount of capital, that capital is reduced in the total amount of the capital. So here no reissue is made means what? If the board of directors doesn't want to reissue the forfeited share, means the amount of those shares will be permanent reduction of capital. The capital is reduced because the forfeited shares not reissued. But usually forfeited shares are reissued so that capital of the company does not stand reduced. But usually forfeited shares are reissued so that capital of the company does not stand reduced. The forfeited shares can be reissued for any price as per the conditions prevailing in the capital market. So here the forfeited shares are nothing but the left to the shares who have not, the shareholders who have not paid the money, the allotted there, the allotment was made to the shareholders, but after allotment they they were not paid their remaining or the due of them. Those shares are surrendered to the company, and those shares are the assets of the company, becomes the property of the company. And whether the reissue or not, whether the reissue of these forfeited shares, the the board of directors will decide. It is left to the discretion of the board of directors whether the reissue whether to reissue them or not. If no reissue is made, if the forfeiture shares are not issued or not allotted, reallotted, here we have to say, here not reallotted, not reissue is made, there is a permanent reduce in the capital, the permanent reduction in the capital. But usually joint stock companies, reissue the forfeited shares because they don't want to reduce the capital. Generally, the forfeited shares are reissued. The forfeited shares can be reissued for any price. The forfeited shares can be reissued for any price as per the conditions prevailing in the capital market. The forfeited shares can be reissued for any price as per the conditions prevailing in the capital market. Okay, then under no circumstances, however, the reissue price should be lower than the amount of unpaid on the shares. In other words, the forfeited shares can be reissued at a discount or premium. In other words, the forfeited shares can be reissued at a discount or premium. But if they are reissued at a discount, the discount shall not be more than amount already paid on the shares forfeited. The reissue of forfeited shares should be sanctioned by the resolution at the board's meeting. The reissue of forfeited shares should be sanctioned by the resolution at the board's meeting. Here, the points we need to concentrate is under any circumstances, under under no circumstances. However, the reissue price should be lower than the amount unpaid on the shares. However, the reissue price should be lower than the amount unpaid on the shares. Should be lower than the amount unpaid on the shares. In other words, the forfeited shares, generally all the companies will follow. The forfeited shares can be reissued at a discount or premium. Already part or some part of the amount uh, was paid by the first allotted shareholders. So these forfeited shares can be reissued at discount or premium, and it should be lower than the amount unpaid on the shares. But if they are reissued at a discount, but if they are reissued at a discount price, if they are reissued at a discount, the discount shall not be more than amount already paid on the shares forfeited. But if they are reissued at a discount, the discount shall not be more than amount already paid on the shares forfeited. Here the point is, if they are reissued at a discount, the discount shall not be more than the amount they were already, the people who have allotted first time, they were already paid on the shares forfeited. The reissue of forfeited shares, the reissue of forfeited shares should be sanctioned by the resolution at the board meetings. Should be sanctioned by the resolution at board meetings. Under no circumstances, under no circumstances, however, the reissue price should be lower than the amount unpaid on the shares. The forfeited shares can be reissued at a discount or premium. The forfeited shares can be reissued at a discount or premium. But if they are reissued at a discount, the discount shall not be more than amount already paid. More than amount already paid. The reissue of forfeited shares should be sanctioned by the resolution at the board's meeting. And there should be a statutory declaration by the secretary or a director that all the formalities for forfeitures are compiled with. Here there should be a statutory declaration. There should be a statutory declaration by the secretary there should be a statutory declaration by the secretary or a director that all the formalities for forfeiture are compiled with secretary or a director that all the formalities for forfeiture are compiled with. The purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt for the issue price paid. The purchaser of reissued shares, the purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt for the issue price paid. For the issue price paid. Later, the share certificate will be issued to him and his name will be included in the register of members. Later, the share certificate will be issued to him and his name will be included in the register of company. So here there should be a statutory declaration. There should be a statutory declaration by the secretary or director that all the formalities. So whatever the formalities needs to be done for the forfeiture of shares, whatever the formalities needs to be done for the forfeitures of shares are compiled with or completed or compiled with a statutory declaration is mandatory. The purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt for the issue price paid. The purchaser of reissued shares, the purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt for the price paid. Later the share certificate will be issued. Later the share certificate will be issued to him. Later the share certificate will be issued to him and his name will be included in the register of members. And his name is included in the register of members. The first member name is removed whenever the shares are transferred to forfeiture shares account. The first purchaser names are removed from the register of members, and whenever the shares are reallotted, the directors should be take a statutory declaration and complete all the formalities with a statutory declaration, and the purchaser of reissued shares will be paid an official receipt. The purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt. The purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt for the price issued, for the price paid, and the share certificate will be issued, and the share certificate and official certificate, or we call it as a share certificate is issued. The share certificate is issued, will be issued to him, and his name will be included in the register of members. And his name will be included in the register of members. So this is about the procedure for reallotment of shares. The forfeited shares are surrendered, becomes the property of the company, and it is the description of the board of directors whether they want to reissue or not. If they don't want to reissue the shares, there is a permanent reduction in the capital. Generally, the companies, joint stock companies, or the board of directors in the joint stock companies will reissue the forfeited shares because they don't want to reduce the capital. And these shares should not be, the price should not be lower than the amount unpaid on the shares, and these shares will be reissued at a discount or premium, and if they are reissued at a discount, the discount shall not be more than the amount already paid, and the reissue of forfeited shares should be sanctioned by the resolution at the board's meeting. The reissue of forfeited shares should be sanctioned by the resolution at the board meetings, and should be a statutory declaration by the secretary or a director that all formalities for forfeiture are compiled with. The purchaser of reissued shares shall be given an official receipt for the issue price paid. And later, finally, A share certificate will be issued to him and his name will be included in the register of members. A share certificate will be issued and his name is included in the register of members. From that onwards, the persons are called as shareholders of the company. These persons are called as shareholders of the company. From that point of onwards, these persons are called as shareholders of the company. Shareholders of the company. Right share and bonus share. Right share and bonus share. Right share and bonus share. The right share refers to those issued shares. Right share and bonus shares. The right share refer to those issue of shares. The right shares refers to those issue of shares which a company offers to their existing shareholders at a discounted price. The right shares refers to those issue of shares which a company offers to their existing shareholders at a discounted price. And bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost to their shareholders on a specified date by the companies. Here, right shares and bonus shares. So the shares, the forfeited shares, some companies issue the forfeited shares or the leftover shares. Forfeited shares are the leftover shares to the existing shareholders, to the existing shareholders at a discounted price, to the existing shareholders at a discounted price. The right shares refers to those issue of shares, right shares to those issue of shares which a company offers to their existing shareholders at a discounted price, at a discounted price. And the bonus shares refers to the shares. Here the term is saying bonus. Bonus means it is a free of cost. Bonus means it's an additional. It is like a gift. It is like a gift or it is an additional amount or additional share. So bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost to their shareholders on a specified date by the companies. Bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost. Bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost to their shareholders on a specified date by the companies. Here the companies will do two things in case of leftover shares or forfeited shares. Number one, first case is right shares and second case is bonus shares. In the case that is right shares, already existing shareholders, the company issue or allot shares, the people who are interested, the people, the people are the shareholders, the already existing shareholders who have interested, the existing shareholders who have interested, these shares are allotted to them only at a discounted price, at a discounted price. This is called right shares. This is called right shares. And the bonus shares refers to the shares, the bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost, which are issued free of cost to their shareholders, free of cost to their shareholders. The bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost to their shareholders on a specified date by the companies. Bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost to their shareholders on a specified date by the companies. The bonus shares are the free shares allotted to the existing shareholders on a specified date, generally 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. On some occasions, on some ceremonies or occasions, the companies will allot the bonus share to the existing shareholders at a free of cost without money. This is called bonus share. Bonus shares refers to the shares which are issued free of cost to their shareholders on a specified date by the company. Bonus shares are additional shares given to the current shareholders without any additional cost based upon the number of shares that a shareholder owns. So already shareholders are there. There have shareholders. So depending upon the shares they have, the bonus shares are allotted to them at free of cost. The bonus shares are allotted to the free of cost already existing shareholders. Depending upon the percentage of their shares they have already owns, they have already have. These are companies' accumulated earnings. These are companies' accumulated earnings which are not given out in the form of dividends but are converted into free shares. These are companies' accumulated earnings. These are companies' accumulated earnings which are not given out in the form of dividends, which are not given out in the form of dividends but are converted into free shares. So the bonus shares are the accumulated earnings of a company. In some cases the company may not give those amount in the form of dividend. That amount is converted into free shares, that is bonus shares. That bonus shares are allotted to the existing shareholders. That bonus shares are allotted to the existing shareholders depending upon the percentage of the shares already they have. These are called these shares are called bonus shares and it is a free of cost. And in case of right share, that is the leftover shares or forfeited shares or some shares, that kind of shares the company will allot, the company will reissue or allot to the existing shareholder at a discount price. That share called as a right share. And bonus shares are the free of cost shares. They will be given to the free of cost to the existing shareholders. And these are the company's accumulated earnings. These are the company's accumulated earnings which are not given out in the form of dividends, which are not given out in the form of dividend, but these are converted into free shares and allotted to the already existing shareholders, depending upon the percentage of shares they have, depending upon the percentage of shares they have they have. This is about bonus share and right share. And issue of share at par, at premium and discount. Issue of share at par, at premium and at discount. Issue of shares at par, when the shares are offered to the public at its face value, it is termed at par. The purchaser need not pay more than the face value or the nominal value of this share. Here, issue of shares at par, at premium and at discount. Issue of shares at par, at premium and at discount. So, issue of shares at par. When the shares are offered to the public at its face value, when the shares are offered to the public at its face value, it is termed as at par. It is termed as at par. The purchaser need not pay more than the face value. The purchaser need not pay more than the face value of the share, more than the face value of the share. Here the point is at par means the shares are offered to the public at its face value only. The shares are offered to the public at its face value. The purchaser not need no need to pay, need not to pay more than the face value or the nominal value of the share. Then issue of shares at premium. Issue of shares at premium. If the shares are issued at a price above the face or nominal value, the additional amount so collected is premium. Such an issue is called at premium. Such an issue is called at premium. If the shares are issued at a price above the face or nominal value, if the shares are issued at a price above the at a price above the face or nominal value, the additional amount so collected, the additional amount so collected is called the premium. Such an issue is called at premium. The amount of premium depends on the reputation of the company. Reputation of the company. The share premium, the amount collected over the above the face value is to be shown in the share premium account. So here issue of shares at premium means some companies will issue shares above the face value if the business is running good, if the company is earning more and more profits, automatically the share value is increased. Automatically the face value or the share value is increased. If the company issue a share above this face value, that excess amount that excess amount is called premium. That additional amount is called premium. The share premium, the amount is collected over and above the face value is to be shown in share premium account. The share premium, the amount collected over and above the face value is to be shown in share premium account. Okay. So here the premium means what? Some companies will issue shares above the face or nominal value. It depends upon the reputation of the company. If the business is running very good, the company is getting more and more profits, automatically the face value will be increased and that shares are issued to the public. If they are interested, they can purchase. So the additional amount or the excess amount the companies collected above this face value is called as premium amount. This premium amount or the amount collected over and above the face value or excess amount is to be shown in share premium account. Is to be shown in share premium account. Issue of shares at a discount. Issue of shares at a discount. Issue of shares at a discount. If the shares are issued at a price less than the face value, if the shares are issued at a price less than the face value, the difference amount is called the discount. The difference amount is called the discount. Such an issue is called at a discount. Such an issue is called at a discount. The discount cannot be more than 10% of the face value of the share. The discount cannot be more than 10% of the face value of the share. At least 1 year should have elapsed after the commencement of business. At least 1 year should have elapsed after the commencement of business. So here the difference between this premium and discount, the difference between share issue of share at premium and at discount is issue of share at premium is above the face value. Above the face value, it depends upon the reputation of the company they may have. And it discount means it is less than the face value. It is the less than the face value. In some situations, the companies issue shares at a price less than the face value. The difference amount is called the face value and the issue at a discount. Issue of share at a discount. This difference amount is called discount on the share. Discount on the share. Such an issue is called at a discount. Such an issue is called at a discount. The discount cannot be more than 10% of the face value of the share. It cannot be more than 10% of the face value of the share. The discount cannot be more than 10% of the face value of the share. This is about issue of share at premium and at discount. Issue of share, the difference between the issue of share at premium and at discount. Okay, so here the premium means only it is above the face value, above the nominal or face value. Additional amount which is transferred, the company may get on shares by issuing shares at premium is transferred to share premium account. Here issue of shares at discount. In some situations, the company may issue some shares at a discount price which is less than the face value, and that discount should not be more than 10% of the face value. 10% of the face value. At least 1 year should have elapsed after the commencement of business. It should be at least 1 year have elapsed of the commencement of the business. And here in this session, I have clearly explained to you procedure for reallotment of shares. In this session, I have clearly explained to you the procedure for reallotment of shares. The forfeited shares are reallotted to the existing shareholders, or the forfeited shares can be issued or again allotted. It is the discretion of the board of directors. It can be issued, it can be reallotted or the existing shareholders or others. It can be reissued to others. And it is the discretion of the board of directors whether they want to reissue or not. If they don't want to reissue, the reduction in the capital will be there. If they reissue, the capital cannot be reduced. And this is called reallotment of shares. There is a procedure for reallotment of shares. And right share, bonus share. Right share means the shares are allotted to the existing shareholders at a discount. And bonus shares are allotted to the existing shareholders with free of cost, without money, no cost, free of cost. And issue of shares at premium, that is, the shares are issued above the face value. The additional amount collected on the shares are transferred to share premium account. And issue of shares at a discount, the shares are issued to the shares are issued below the face value, that is discount. That discount should not be more than 10%. This should be elapsed on the 1 year, after 1 year of the commencement of the business. These things I have explained in this session. Thank you.